how you're doing. I could have made this video out to be a lot more eventful than it's going to be. I chose to cut corners today in favour of getting stuff done, and really in the grand scheme, once I have got things done, it's not really been all that anyway. I'm just checking out some of the live stream from today. If you hear me doubling back, that's why. Inky went to work, bless her. Early hours of the morning. She didn't get a whole hell of a lot of sleep. Hoping she has a good day. Although she did call me up just before the stream. Actually, during the stream, she seemed okay. But it's odd to have Inky call me up through the day. But it's also odd for Inky not to be here. It's one thing I'm really not used to, because for years now, long old time, Inky has worked evenings. Yeah, evenings, thinking about it. I can't... What was the last job she did where she was working during the day? It's really, really, really odd for Inky to not be here through like an entire day. From like the time I get up to the time I pop the kids to bed, or the time I get the kids to school, from school. If Inky's not here, it's really, really weird. Really weird. The house just feels so empty. Everything feels really empty. She's in. Hope she's having a great time. Hopefully, I'm a bit nervous because she has sent me that. She did call me and all that. And I've got everything done that I needed to get done today. I'm psyched for when Inky comes home because I mentioned one of them yesterday. Vinyl of the day is Metal Hammer's Best of British Steel. It came through the post today. This is the album that got me into heavy metal. Except I was listening to it on tape when I was a kid. I just so happened to type it into eBay the other day and it was gone for like £3 on vinyl. I was like, woo, I have a record player. I said yesterday, when the second track, Sabbath's Clerical Conspiracy, hit, for me that was music. That was my love of metal right there. It's from Sabbath's second album, Dreamweaver. Excellent, excellent track. This isn't going to be one that Inky likes. However, Inky was also looking for another album, and I figured I would buy it for her. It's Fragile by Yes. And the reason that she likes this album is because there's a track on it called Roundabout, which, if you're a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that track features in that anime. So the album of the day, or the vinyl of the day, will either be Fragile or Best of British Steel, and Inky has got one of her own as well, which I haven't opened. She has asked me to open it, but I don't like opening other people's mail, so, that's a group. Now, I want to throw out that I have spent a chunk of time dealing with YouTube support again, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, the main channel still isn't back up and running. And they said to me, hey, we figured out what the problem is. We will have it fixed within 3 days. We've applied a patch. You'll be back up and running in 3 days. That was a week ago. That was 8 days. It was 8 days ago today. The channel still isn't back. And I messaged them because they said, hey, good job. We figured out what the problem is. We'll patch it all up. And let us know if there's anything else you want us to sort out for you. And I figured I would wait a little while to see. I'd like give it a few days. I announced it when they said they were going to fix it all up after Zaber went on his crusade against freedom in YouTube, and they messaged us on the day that Zaber went hardcore on people on social media. And I was like, yeah, cool, you know, the channel's going to be back in a week. But I just didn't really have my hopes up all that high, even though I was like, yeah, we'll be back soon. That's why I said soon, because they said they had a fix, they've applied a fix, days have gone by, weeks have gone by now, and it's still, we're still not up. The channel still isn't up. However, the algorithm is still happily going through videos that no one can see and is flagging them for copywritten content. So any live stream VOD or gameplay video that I have on the youtube.com/Skazius channel is being flagged left and right. I got like 10, 15 emails today for Battlefield 3 alone. And that was just a stream VOD. YouTube have said, look, you know, in the back and forth they had today, they were like, oh, you know, sorry. We've escalated it back to the engineering team. You know, I've elevated it all the way back up to the top to see about getting it fixed. You know, sorry for any inconvenience. And I'm thinking to myself, is it 4 months now? Nearly 4 months? It'll be 4 months Christmas Eve, I think. I haven't bothered really uploading to the main channel recently. I'm just going to keep them all on the hard drive. There's no point uploading to the channel because the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, and I hate to say that I'm playing to the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm sees, even though I don't properly play to the algorithm, it's supposed to be videos of a certain length at a certain time, properly tagged with a thumbnail and blah blah blah. And depending on how you do it and when you do it, you know, you get favoured by the search algorithm. My channel is still being read by the algorithm, and it's seeing every video since the channel went down. It's seeing it as they're getting 0 views, so no one wants to watch them. So there's going to come a time, because the algorithm also affects people's sub boxes, there's going to come a time when it's just not going to put my stuff in people's sub boxes, even when they ask to sub to it. So it literally has become just a thing for me now, because my account is the only one that can, I am the only one that can view it on the main account, on the main channel. It's dead. It's dead. It's bleeding subscribers. People who were there to watch the content are just leaving in droves. So, even though viewership on the vlogs isn't high, people are leaving. They can't get their gameplay fixed, they can't watch Army of Two. My Army of Two content, because of the algorithm now, would have probably been kicked in the face, and other people would have passed that in search rankings. So I'm just not going to bother uploading to the channel at this point. Over the last couple of weeks, it's the first time I've just avoided uploading to the channel in ages, because, you know, I've been doing this for God knows how many years now, and no one can see it. I can't even see it. If I'm not logged in, I can't see it. I can't send a link to a friend or whatever. It's just gone. So I hope they fix it soon. But that's where a chunk of my day has been. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with YouTube support. That's Rod Stewart. Samurai Showdown soundtrack over Stadia. Wow. She's home, honey.
So waddy.
She's so our vinyl grab bag didn't end with the stuff I've shown off. So you got a box of
LP.
of many.
Oh, look at the riddles of these. They're fucking cool.
I mean, look, there's a huge stack.
There's 40 of them.
Huge stack.
You kept me awake last night from the Touch of Sadness album by Jim Reeves.
Hang on, and you got the.
Oh my God, we've got some police. I'm so happy with this so far. Some of them I don't have a fucking idea.
Another vinyl of the day. And you can't really, I don't think you can see the track list there, but hey ho. Much vinyl to be listened to. Alright. Well, Inky's extra happy now. She got vinyl through the post, a bigger box of vinyl through the post. She got a letter from her previous place of work with copies of a bunch of her certificates and qualifications in them that, recently had an unfortunate accident. And she's just gone and got her last paycheck. She's pretty happy right now. Excellent. Happy Inky. Happy Scats. Just want to quickly, just thank you. I don't know if the two people here are going to see this. Not two people here, but the two people I'm about to mention. Thanks, Steve Log. Oh, Mr. Grice. I was a bit concerned about one of my mates today, who I mentioned quite recently. Actually, it was at the end of November. I mentioned how I dropped 8 pounds just from mostly cutting sugar out of my diet, or near enough 8 pounds. And I hit the rough weight of about 140 pounds, which was my ideal weight. It's actually a bit under that, and that's pretty much where I was before I got sick a few years ago and all that kind of fluff. And my mate Martin has started getting into this kind of fitness kick. My mate Kai has as well. And the thing is, Martin, Kai and myself, well, I can't really consider myself on the same level as that, but we're basically held together with NHS gaffer tape. Martin and Kai, if you ever want to do a zombie film, you wouldn't even, legally speaking, you wouldn't even have to pay them, because most doctors would consider them dead on arrival before they even stepped on set. You know what I mean? And so Kai, bless him, I remember years ago we had to go and see him. I mean, it must have been about 12 plus years ago. Me and Scribs rode all the way down to London to go see him, because he was going in for a heart surgery that weren't ideal at the time, and it was rad to go see him before he went in for his surgery, because it was a risky one. And just this year he's had 2 more surgeries, one to replace the thing that he had done all them years ago, and some other bits and bobs, and he's now having to get into a fitness kick, because he wants to live a bit longer. Same thing that I've been whining about recently. You want to stick around as long as you can to see how the story pans out, kind of thing, or as far as you can. And Martin's the same. He's I mean, damn man, dude's on crutches. I've known Martin since we were in middle school. So Martin, if you watch this, I hope I'm not saying anything that offends you or anything. I'd say it to your face anyway. But I've known Martin for years. He's been pretty sick his entire life. When we were in school, he used to have to come in with all medical, all these different machines and stuff just to help him breathe. He wasn't wired up to clear his airways and all that kind of stuff. He would constantly be in and out of hospital, and me and Martin joked today. We said it's a wonder of medical science how we even managed to get to college and past that. You know what I mean? Considering the absolute state we were in when we were kids. He's, against all odds, he went in for amateur wrestling and all that kind of stuff. And you've seen Martin in the vlogs a few times. I've probably mentioned a million times since starting this bit, but he's been on crutches, he's been in a wheelchair. He's got himself into a right old state, but now he want to kind of, because he's got a few problems. He's having to go to London for treatment, just like Kai and all that. And I had to go to London for years for treatment, but you want to get better. You want to feel better. They've found a treatment that's going to stick, and he's going to make the most of it. He's not going to. Well, he's promised me he won't push himself too hard, but if he's anything like me, he'll go out there and do everything stupid. But either way, round about all this, Martin's an unwell guy and he's trying to better himself. Much like Kai, a bit like myself. Well, I'm going to have it a lot easier than those two, no two ways about it. Recently, man, Martin's been posting his stuff on the internet that he's been, you know, his weight loss journey and his fitness journey, and you know, how it's affecting his health. Is he picking up? How's he feeling? All that kind of stuff. Not quite a daily vlog, but sometimes he's doing posts and that on Instagram, and he's got like a sponsorship of sorts from a supplement company, and every now and then he posts up like a little advert about the supplement. And today he posted up one that I almost shat my pants. Like literally, I was horrified. And what did he say? Something to the effect of he'd lost in less than, or near enough 3 weeks, he'd lost 10 kilos. Or something like, I swear it was like in the region of like 10 kilos. And I was like, fuck man, like 10 kilos? What's 10 kilos? Like 20 some odd pounds? You know? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to lose like another 7. I'm like, damn son, that's like 2 full stone, and Martin's not a big guy. So I started to panic. The fact he'd lost like 20 odd pounds in 3 weeks is terrifying as well, because you're only supposed to lose like £2 a week. I mean, unless you're going like proper hardcore gymming at 6-7 days a week, you know, proper diet and all that, you shouldn't really be losing a huge amount more. You can really push it, but those are astronomical, like out there numbers. And so I ended up I messaged Stu, or Mr. Grice. I said, look man, like, you're the only other person I know that takes fitness proper seriously. Like, this can't be good, right? You know, that's way too much, way too fast. Those are crazy figures. And you know, he said, you know, just keep an eye on Martin. You know, because that's probably ain't a healthy amount. I mean, he can lose a lot of weight if he does everything right, but then that started to worry me a bit more. So you know, thanks for talking to me about it, Steve. I have had a chat with Martin today about it, but he's losing like an astronomical amount of weight, and it really panicked me. So I started talking to him, and you know, we had a bit of a backstory about, you know, how he's been over the last couple of months, because I haven't seen him in a fair while. It might have been a good year or so ago since I last saw him. I mean, I know he's been having ups and downs, but he's had quite a bad number of downs recently, and as I say, he has promised me after our conversation he's not going to go particularly crazy and do anything mental, but those numbers they terrified the fuck out of me. Because he's not a big guy. Martin's not a big guy. He's shorter than me for a start. You see him in the vlog every now and then. Actually, I think one of the last times you probably see him in the vlog was when DeWalt first started calling me again, and that was back when we were living in the bungalow, so it was a good few years ago. But he's not a big guy, and to want to lose all that weight, I was like, you know, you can't. That's probably not for the best, mate. But he has promised. He's told me what he's doing, and what he's doing does correlate with the weight loss and that. I still think it's a little extreme, mind you, but he's confident in what he's doing, and he's all that. But just, it was nice to talk to Martin again, and I really hope he achieves what it is he wants to achieve. And same to my mate Kai. So I just wanted to get out there that I'm fucking worried about Martin, you know. And so I said to my mate, you know, just like Kai, you ain't allowed to die until long after I fucking do. Those are the rules, man. Those are the rules. You are not allowed to go anywhere until long after I am, because I won't fucking allow it, you know, or long after I do. And I say he's assuring me that he's doing everything he can, and he's doing it right, and he's keeping an eye on everything. And I highly doubt his doctors are going to let him do anything crazy, but I mean, man, you want to lose 17 kilos. 17 fucking kilos, man. That's a lot of weight. A lot of weight. I mean, I was 66 at the start of November. So think of that. Look, take me and then take 17 kilos off me. That's fucking mental, man. Absolutely mental. Just don't go doing anything crazy, man. You promised me. But Stu, thank you for talking to me about it. As I said, you know, Stu's one of the few people I know that actually takes fitness serious. You know, Stu knows what it's like to have been a big guy and done all the work to lose the weight and get in shape and take fitness and health seriously and that. So I appreciate the time you shared with me today just to talk about it. I don't know why Stu doesn't do, why he ain't a trainer, you know? again, fitness is his hobby. I guess maybe it'd be a bit weird if he did it as his job, but I reckon he'd be good at it. Anyway, yeah, just want to get that off my chest. Stu, Martin, thank you for chatting today. Sorry if I've just got to say anything that ain't cool. If it ain't cool, I'll pull the vlog down and I'll cut this little bit out, you know. Fucking hell, man, 17 kilos. Martin, what the fuck are you thinking? Christ. Fucking hell. Someone quantify 17 kilos for me. Find something that's sizable that weighs 17 fucking kilos. That's almost as heavy as my ego, you know what I'm saying? Let's round down this vlog. I've got nothing. I had a nice evening with Inky. You know, good news. I've just finished listening to Fragile. Yes, it's a good album. It's a good album. Just random. That was the one that she really wanted, that one. So I'm glad she's enjoyed it. You know what? After everything I said today, I don't know how to wind this vlog down, so I'm just going to say something really crap. I just got this vision in my head of Kai and Martin looking like Saitama from One Punch Man. Having them two look like Olympic athletes, that'd be hilarious. That'd be fucking hilarious. Anyway, can I end with a bit of Stadia? Because Inky's just paid her account to my Chromecast Ultra. Tonight is the first time, or today is the first time I've ever had actual significant issues with Stadia since I've started using it, and I've put in like 20 hours, 30 hours into Stadia, something like that. I've put in quite a bit of time into Stadia. Today, I was playing Final Fantasy 15 on stream, and just randomly, game wouldn't save. Now that's not a Stadia problem, that was a game problem, because I had to explain this on stream, that if it was a Stadia problem, like if it was a connection issue, like people were guessing, if it was a connection issue, well, Stadia streamed. If I wasn't connecting to Stadia properly to make a save file, I wouldn't be able to play the game either, because it's a direct feed from that server. So apparently there's a bug in the PC version of Final Fantasy where occasionally the game just will not save. The auto-saves don't work, and you can't manually save either. And there was a point where I realised auto-save wasn't working. I tried to manually save, didn't read the message that came up after it, done like an hour and a half after the game, got into a fight and got completely wrecked. And then the game reloaded me back to the start of the chapter and I freaked the fuck out. So I had to go and do that entire thing again. So I've had a pretty long stream today, but it was mostly content I'd already played through. People had to watch me do the same bit twice. And then this evening, I was playing Samurai Showdown. I figured I'd do an Earthquake run. I am awful as Earthquake. Absolutely awful as Earthquake. Earthquake's the really big fucking guy. Fat guy with the... he's got the sickle, I think. Really big guy. Like, you know, he's one of the main characters of Samurai Showdown since the early days. A massive sprite that takes up most of the screen. Like super agile, fat guy that like belches fire on you and farts on you and stuff like that. Huge damage when he hits. As most characters do in Samurai Showdown. But my average round time in Samurai Showdown, so the time it takes for me to win a round, not a match, it's, you know, 2 rounds and you have to win 2 rounds to win a match. My average round time is about 15 seconds in Samurai Showdown. So I started having a few connection issues, as if like someone had saturated our connection, and the game was like stuttering. To explain how bad the stuttering was, if any fighting game player who has played online with a high enough ping, or anyone who's played an online game of any kind where your opponent or another member of sort of like of the team or whatever has a high ping, and you see the character kind of glitching across the screen, like teleporting, or like you'll start to see freezing where the game is trying to sync up. That was pretty much how it was. Like if you've got shitty netcode in a fighting game and you're trying to play someone on the other side of the country, that was how, like all of a sudden there's like massive delay on the control, or maybe you see like, I don't know, like the game's running at like 3 frames a second or whatever. Wasn't quite that extreme, but it did that for the grand total of about 15 seconds. I managed to win the round, and as soon as I won the round, the connection seemed to pick back up. It wasn't enough to make me lose the match, but once I'd finished the round, the connection came back up, and that's probably the worst Stadia has been. Today has been the worst Stadia has been, full stop. So, when it works, it works. When it fails, it really fails. But it still shows massive promise, in my opinion. I think anyone that hasn't tried it yet should give it a crack. If you know anyone with a friend code or a buddy pass, get it off of them and give it a go. First person shooters work fine, fighting games work pretty well. Just understand that you are basically watching like a Netflix style stream, just it's not buffering, it's literally on the button live as you go. Fucking earthquake though, god damn it, motherfucker. Got up to the end boss and I just got wrecked. I got absolutely fucking murdered because he's so tall. Most of the other characters, if the end boss throws like a high attack, you can get past high and medium attacks by ducking. Earthquake's so fucking big, he just stands there and takes the whole lot. Anyway, I'm off. Hope you are. I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow. Just don't go doing anything crazy. Take care of yourselves. Don't push it. You only get one shot at this.